The Sycamore Fire north of Globe is now 60% contained after firefighters held containment lines through 3 straight days of red flag warnings. The Pocket Fire south of Flagstaff remains at 0% containment as more than 900 firefighters battle that growing wildfire. The Steamboat Fire near Kearny continues to threaten nearby ranches with go and set evacuation alerts still in effect. And Rim Country firefighters quickly stopped a burning camp trailer from spreading to neighboring properties in Payson. Good morning, Central Arizona. For Tonto-TV.com and KRIMFM.com, I'm Randy Roberson. Here's your Central Arizona news for this Monday, June 29th. The Sycamore Fire north of Globe continues to move in the right direction. The latest update from last evening shows the fire holding at 11,879 acres, but containment has now increased to 60%. Nearly 480 firefighters remain assigned to that incident, although some crews are now beginning to leave the fire to assist with new wildfires developing across the region. Fire managers say all containment lines held through 3 consecutive days of red flag warning conditions, allowing firefighters to continue strengthening and securing the perimeter. Aircraft have played a major role in that success, but officials remind the public they're only one part of the firefighting effort. Super Scooper aircraft have been repeatedly skimming nearby lakes, collecting nearly 1,400 gallons of water in just seconds before making coordinated drops to slow the fire's advance. Type 1 helicopters, the largest helicopters used on wildfires, have been dropping as much as 3,000 gallons of water at a time while refilling from portable water tanks positioned around the fire. Meanwhile, smaller Type 3 helicopters have transported equipment into rugged terrain, performing bucket drops and supporting aerial ignition operations where needed. Fire officials say aircraft remain a valuable tool, but successful containment ultimately depends on the coordinated efforts of firefighters both in the air and on the ground. Now, firefighters also responded to another wildfire Sunday just south of Rye along State Route 87. Heavy lift helicopters made repeated water drops, allowing crews to quickly slow the fire's spread and reopening the highway a short time later. Officials have not yet released a cause, although the fire did start immediately adjacent to the highway. And in other news from the same area, Rim Country firefighters quickly prevented what could have become a much larger fire Friday evening in Payson. Crews responded after a camp trailer caught fire, threatening nearby properties. Firefighters were able to quickly knock down the flames before they spread beyond the trailer. No injuries were reported, and firefighters prevented damage to surrounding properties. At last report, the cause of that fire remains under investigation. Well, coming up after the break, the Pocket Fire continues burning south of Flagstaff as more than 900 firefighters battle challenging wind conditions there. And the Steamboat Fire over near Kearny remains active, with evacuation alerts still in place for nearby ranches. These stories and much more coming up right after these words. Ponderosa Plumbing is Central Arizona's go-to plumbing team. For decades, homeowners, builders, and businesses have trusted Ponderosa Plumbing AZ for new construction, remodels, repairs, sewer and drain service, high-definition camera inspections, water heater installation, water treatment systems, and expert slab leak repair. When experience matters, when quality matters, when getting it done right the first time matters, Ponderosa Plumbing delivers. Locally owned, highly trusted, serving all of Central Arizona with honesty, craftsmanship, and unmatched know-how. Located at 107 West Wade Lane, Suite number 5 in Payson, call Ponderosa Plumbing AZ today at 928-476-4727. Ponderosa Plumbing AZ. Experience you can trust, quality you can count on.
I'm Garrett Goldman, and this year my wife and I decided to remodel our home. The home was built as a period-specific home modeled after an 1800s farmhouse and had single-pane windows which were very inefficient. When we started the planning process, we interviewed several window companies to retrofit the existing windows in our house, and we chose Lowry's Window and Door as our contractor. The reason we picked Lowry's is their customer service. The owner of the company, Bobby Lowry, came out to our house multiple times to identify a window that would fit within the existing windows, and then also a method that would allow us to keep all of the existing woodwork in the house and not have to redo any of it. Looking at all of the options for windows, we chose Pella double pane windows for our house because of their look and also their ability to be retrofitted into the existing window frames. Since completion of the project, we absolutely love our new dual pane Pella windows. I would recommend Lowry's for anybody looking to retrofit your existing windows or a new build because of their experience, craftsmanship, and exceptional customer service.
Oh, welcome back. In other news, firefighters continue facing a difficult battle on the Pocket Fire southwest of Flagstaff. As of Sunday evening, the wildfire had grown to 6,016 acres and remained 0% contained. More than 900 personnel are now assigned to that incident. Crews continue constructing containment lines south of Kachina Village while firefighters remain positioned ahead of the fire to quickly attack any new spot fires created by gusty afternoon winds. Aircraft were busy throughout the day whenever conditions allowed. Fire managers reported 26 fixed-wing retardant drops and approximately 500 helicopter bucket drops were completed on Sunday alone. Even with those aggressive aerial operations, strong wind continued pushing active fire behavior south of established containment lines, increasing smoke impacts across the region. Fire behavior analyst trainee Troy Druin explained how weather, fuels, and topography continue influencing fire behavior on the Pocket Fire.
Across the landscape, we have a lot of mixed con in the drainages on the north end as well as below. Ponderosa pine, brush, light flashy fuels as far as grass. All these conditions, these fuels have been drying continuously for the last 3 days. Additionally, fuel moistures are very low. We're at 3 to 4% for the 1 hour fuels, which typically are our main carriers during the day, light very quickly. The weather, we've been in our third day of red flag warning, continuing into today. Gust up to 45 miles per hour. And that projected moving into Monday and Tuesday, it's going to be a slow taper on that. So the wind, high temps into the 90s, on top at 7,000 feet as well below in the more Red Rock area. RH is in the single digits. So all the right conditions there for fire activity.
And in yet other news, firefighters are also making progress on the Steamboat Fire northeast of Kearny. The fire is currently estimated at 790 acres and remains 0% contained. Go evacuation notifications remain in effect for Lynx Ranch, Victory Cross Ranch, while residents in Troy and the Wind Spirit community remain under set status. Firefighters spent Sunday combining direct ground attack with aviation support until strong afternoon winds forced air tankers to suspend retardant operations. However, helicopters were able to continue supporting crews throughout the day. Fire managers say today's plan remains focused on protecting homes, using direct suppression wherever possible, and strengthening existing containment lines. Officials also emphasize there are currently no highway closures affecting State Routes 77 or 177. Well, still ahead, will firefighters finally get a break from the wind? We'll take a look at this week's fire weather forecast and whether any meaningful moisture is showing up before the 4th of July. All that and more coming up next. Legislative District 7 deserves a representative who understands rural Arizona. Barbie Engel has spent years listening to the people who call it home.
And I've been an advocate on the legislative level for the last 17 years, just as a volunteer civilian, unpaid, saw things that needed to get fixed for myself and for other patients, and I jumped in and figured out how to get that done.
Barbie Engel has worked with lawmakers, helped shape legislation, and believes government should be accountable to the people it serves.
I want to start from a zero line and really look at each of the items that we're putting into the budget and determine if it is appropriate, if it's fraud, waste, and abuse, what's going on, and actually look at every single portion of the budget.
And she's been traveling across all 4 counties of Legislative District 7, listening to the concerns of local residents.
I've been talking to boards of supervisors, town councils, city councils, law enforcement, school boards, and also the people, because I want to be the voice of the people. My things that I'm most excited to accomplish is being able to bring the people's voice forward.
Barbie Engel for Arizona House, Legislative District 7. Learn more at barbieengle.com. Paid for by Barbie Engel for Arizona.
Working hard under Arizona sky, small town roots and family pride. Fix the roads and keep taxes light, bring new business back to life. If you want growth done right, I'm your guy. Honest working, hometown pride, I'm your guy. For the people every time, Bobby Lowry on your side. Bobby Lowry for town council, strong leadership, real results. The people's Payson starts now.
Well, taking a look now at weather, it's another day where the weather story is really about wildfire danger across Arizona. Across the higher elevations, you can look for highs generally in the mid to upper 80s, including around 87 degrees in Payson. Lower elevations will remain pleasantly below normal for late July, with areas like Tonto Basin topping out at around 98 degrees this afternoon. That's almost 10 degrees cooler than a few days last week. Tonight, overnight lows fall into the low to mid-50s across the rim country. Lower desert communities cool into the mid to upper 60s overnight. On the extended forecast, the overall pattern stays dry and breezy throughout much of this work week. High temperatures slowly climb each day, reaching around 90 by Thursday in Payson, before warming back into the lower 90s for Friday and the 4th of July weekend. Tonto Basin also begins a warm-up later this week, climbing back into the low 100s by Independence Day. Forecast models continue hinting at a slight chance of moisture next weekend, but confidence remains very low and significant rainfall is not expected at this time. The biggest concern remains the combination of dry air and afternoon winds. Southwest winds of 10 to 20 miles per hour with gusts between 25 and 35 miles per hour will combine with humidity values as low as 5 to 15%. That means near critical to critical fire weather continues across much of northern and eastern Arizona. So, if you're spending time outdoors, avoid anything that could create a spark, obey all fire restrictions, and remember that one small ignition can quickly become Arizona's next major wildfire. And finally, the Prescott Valley Police Department is inviting residents there to learn practical crime prevention skills during a free Refuse to be a Victim class this August. The NRA-certified program focuses on personal safety planning, awareness, and everyday strategies to reduce risk of becoming a crime victim. The class will be held on August 20th from 1 until 4 p.m. at the Prescott Valley Police Department training room. Registration is limited to the first 50 participants, and officials say those classes typically fill quickly. Interested residents can register now by contacting the Police Community Services Supervisor, Jody Mullins, with their name, address, and phone number before August 18th. And that's our report for today. Thanks for making Tonto-TV and KRIMFM.com part of your day. We're committed to bringing you clear, reliable coverage of the news stories shaping Central Arizona. If you're watching or listening on social media, tell us where you're watching from in the comments. And if you appreciate truly local news, please like, share, and follow our pages. Your support helps us continue building the strongest local news community in Arizona. And don't keep us a secret. If it's worth watching, it's worth sharing. For Tonto-TV.com and KRIMFM.com, I'm Randy Roberson. Make it a great day.